Hey y'all, today I'm going to show y'all what I got. This will be like a plant haul video, clearance plant haul, because these are plants that I got at Lowe's a few days ago on clearance. Now I've got 2 or 3 that I bought that were not on clearance, but I'll still show those in this video too. They had some really good deals, and I'll start with these right here, because I probably will end up using these in a pot. These are coleus, and this is part of the Kong series, and it's really pretty. It's kind of a peachy color. These were actually marked down to $1, and I would have got more colors, but these were the only 2 colors they had. But I mean, for $1, I just couldn't pass those up. I probably will end up taking some cuttings off of these and rooting them and overwintering them. Coleus is very easy to start from seed. I've grown it, several different years where I started it myself from seed, and I just did the mixed seed pack colors, and so I had several different colors, and I just paid a couple dollars for the seed pack. But these were up and really pretty, and for, like I said, for $1 I couldn't pass them up. This one, I've never grown this one. Let's see what it says. It's a very pretty one too. It's also part of the Kong series. I don't know if you can see that. The light's kind of reflecting weird on it. But for the price they were, I'm just going to stick them in a pot and maybe add some, a couple of other things, and have me a couple of fall planters. And this is a perennial red salvia. And when you buy clearance plants, they most of the time don't look the greatest. But if it's a perennial, and you can see this one's got plenty of, green growth on it, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with this plant. And I want to say these were, let me see what the price was. Yeah, these were $4. Or this one was. I've got a few that were $4 a piece. But you can see they were regular $8. And for a perennial salvia, I mean, $4, that's not that bad. And so this one's red. And I think I've got several places that I could put it, and I know the butterflies are going to absolutely love it, because all the ones I've got right now are blue. And then we've got the Arizona sun blanket flower, or gaillardia. I just call it gaillardia. Some people call it the blanket flower. It's also a perennial. And I do have a gaillardia, but the one I've got's red. And so this one's different. And I actually bought 2 of these because these also were $4 a piece. And you can see there's absolutely nothing wrong with this one or this one. I don't know why they clearanced them. Maybe they just had a few left and they, needed the space for something else. Who knows? Lowe's, they're pretty big on clearance and stuff. And this is a butterfly bush. And you can see there's absolutely nothing wrong with this either. And they actually had quite a few of these. And I do have butterfly bushes. I've got the Pugster Blue, and then the white one that's just like the Pugster Blue. I don't remember exactly what the name is on it. They're both proven winners. And then I've got some of the bigger varieties. I've got 1 dark purple and 2 light purple. And then I have the Miss Molly. And I have another one, but I can't remember what the name of it is either. And it's one of the smaller. It doesn't get as big as some of the other varieties. But this one's not a proven winner. This is the butterfly candy. And this one's going to be purple, as you can see. Or maybe you can't, the way the light's shining. This one was half price. Let me see if I can see how much this one was originally. I don't remember, but I think this one was maybe $7, $6 or $7. And again, you can see it looks perfectly healthy. This also will be one of the smaller varieties. It'll be equivalent to like the Pugster Blue. You know, maybe a 3x3. So, I mean, it was well worth it. I can always find somewhere to stick a dwarf butterfly bush because, like I said, the butterflies, the bees, the hummingbirds, all the pollinators love butterfly bush. And if you don't have room for a big one, then buy you a dwarf one. And if you can find one on clearance, that's even better. And then I bought this Aster. Now, I have never really grown Aster. I bought, I think I bought 2 one year. And I don't know if I just didn't keep them watered well enough, or if I just planted them in a place that they didn't like it. But they didn't make it. And so I just have not really tried them since. But these bloom in the fall. And so when other things, have stopped blooming, or you've had to pull things out because it just, didn't make it too well during the hot part of summer, I mean, then if you've got Aster or, Gaillardia, or just, there's several different things that blooms in the fall, you can continue to enjoy the flowering, things in your yard if you plant things that bloom mainly in the fall. These were also clearanced. They were $4 a piece. Again, these are perennials too. This time of year, I really don't have a lot of interest in buying an annual. Unless it's one that I'm planning on taking cuttings and just propagating, or I'm planning on cutting it back and I've got it at a really good deal and I'm going to overwinter it. Other than that, I stick to pretty much perennials if I'm looking on a clearance rack this time of year, this late in the fall, because I'm going to say in another probably 2 to 3 or so weeks, we'll probably have our first light frost here. And so this one is white. It's the white one. I don't know if I said that already. And so I got a white one, and I actually got 2 pink. This one's pink, and maybe it's going to be purple. I'm not sure because it says pink, Magic Aster. These are all perennials. You can see that. This one also says pink, but I'm going to tell you that does not look pink to me. That looks purple. So maybe they're calling this one pink. Either way, it's really pretty. And if they're both, if they are both this color, I'm fine with that too. Again, they were $4 a piece too. And they actually had quite a few of these. And you can see there's nothing wrong with the foliage on these. They look perfectly healthy, perfectly fine. This one has, bloomed quite a few flowers that have died and, or past their bloom, and maybe it just needs, some cleaning off. But I don't know why these were on clearance, but they were. And I got these 2 proven winner hostas, and these are called these are the Woolalas. Now this one doesn't have a tag, but I know it's the same as this one. And I'm going to tell y'all a little funny story about this because I kind of got tickled when I got up to the register. The woman running the register was an older lady, and she was really nice. And she looked at the plants in the buggy, and I told her, I said, some of these are clearance plants. I said, there's 2 or 3 that's not, but everything else is clearance plants. And she said, well, I'm going to tell you some of the prices. She said, and then you can tell me if you want to go ahead and go through with buying them. She said, because she said they've not clearance the plants this time like they should have. She said some of these clearance plants is like $7, and she said, and they don't look good. She said they used to have better sales here where they were, would clearance stuff and it would be like $1 or $2, and I was like, okay, And then she was pulling stuff out, and she was telling me that, she was telling me the prices as she was ringing it up. And she got to these 2, and she said, well, those look dead. She said, I bet those are going to be the $7 plants. And so she pulled them up, rung them up, and looked on the register, and she said, yeah, those are $7. She said, $7 for dead plants. She said, you want to go through with these? And I got tickled, and I said, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get them. And she rung them up, and then when she set them in the buggy, she said, well, there's your dead plants. And, we just kind of laughed about it. It was funny. But these were a regular $14 a piece. And I knew that they would be fine. They're hostas. And this time of year in our zone, hostas just look rough, especially if they're in a pot. And they won't look quite as rough if they're in the ground, but they still don't look great. I mean, all the hostas in my yard, they look a little rough right now. Maybe not this rough, but it's okay because I'm going to show y'all, if you run across a plant like this and you're like, wow, I don't want to pay, $6 or $7 for that plant. Well, if you know anything about this particular plant, because I have one already actually, these get really big and they're beautiful hosta. And these are perfectly fine. And you can see, I'm going to show y'all right here. Do you see the new growth? I'm not sure if this is focusing. You can see the new growth right there. It's putting up new leaves. This hosta is going to be just fine. And then we're going to look at this one. Can you see that? There's new leaves coming up on this one too. These hostas are going to be beautiful next year, just like the one that I already have. And so that was just kind of a funny story that I thought I would include in this video, because I'm sure a lot of people do think that way when they go and look. Now this hosta, if you don't know anything about the Woo La La from Proven Winners, this hosta will get 3 to 4 foot tall. And it will get, look how wide it gets, 60 to 72 inches. That is massive. Now, granted, it's going to take several years to get that big. And you will have to, keep it watered. It'll have to stay pretty moist most of, the growing season to ever get that kind of size. But, that's what they say. It's supposed to get that big. And definitely was worth, $6, $6 or $7. Now I'm going to show y'all a couple that was not on clearance that I bought. This is a grass that is really pretty. I don't know how it's showing on the camera, but it's blue. It's kind of a bluish grayish color, and you can see it's in the fall it gets the reds and purples. It's very pretty. I don't have this grass. This is the Prairie Winds Blue Paradise. And it's more of an upright grass, and it's not massive. It'll get 36 to 42 inches tall and 2 foot wide. And if you've watched any of my other videos, there's one flower bed that I've got, out in the yard that's got 2 grasses in it that are massive. They're like a weeping grass, and I can't remember the name of them just right off the top of my head. I know they're one of the miscanthus grasses, one of the maidenhair grasses, and they were not supposed to get as big as they got, or I didn't think they were. I mean, maybe I misread the tag, but they're big. And so they're covering up my azaleas. So what I'm thinking, because I only bought one of these grasses, because you can see how full it is. I can easily divide this grass. So what I'm probably going to do here in the next week or so is dig those other 2, the maidenhair grasses, up and divide them probably into several pieces. And then in their place, in that flower bed, I'm going to divide this one in half and plant it there, because it's not going to weep over and cover up my azaleas like those other 2 do. That was the main reason that I bought this grass. And the color's beautiful. I think I'll really enjoy it. And so I talk a lot about how you need to put evergreens in your yard so you can, really have something to enjoy during the winter time. And while I do have several evergreens, I don't have nowhere near enough, and I only have a few actually. And so I'm trying to make myself, I don't know why I have such a hard time, buying evergreens, because I love them. I think they're beautiful. But I think my eye just gets drawn to other things when I go into a nursery, and I end up getting the other things and forgetting or just not getting the evergreens. Well, I saw this one, and this one's supposed to grow really well in our zone, because we have trouble here with the humidity and heat growing certain types of arborvitaes, or evergreens that have a lot of yellow. And this one is the Forever Goldie, and it's an arborvitae, and it's supposed to grow really good in our zone. And it's a zone 5 through 8, and it gets 10 to 12 foot tall, but it's a narrow one, which is really what I was looking for. It only gets 3 to 3.5 foot wide. So I think this one's going to be a great one. In fact, I wouldn't mind having a couple more of these to go in several different areas in my yard. And I think they're going to be so pretty. This one will be so pretty during the winter time with all that yellow. And then I ended up getting this Agave. This is the first time I've run across Agave, the Proven Winners variety, in my area over the last, few years that I've been landscaping. I could, you can buy seed and start it from seed, but I really don't want it dropping and going everywhere in some of my flower beds. If, there's certain areas you plant things and you don't mind it spreading like that. But I really wouldn't want to have to be pulling Agave out all summer long. And this one is not supposed to do that. So, this is the Meant to Be Queen Nectarine. And I love anything peach colored in the garden. So, I think I'm going to love this one. And I'm gonna plant this one where I don't have to worry about it dropping seed and popping up everywhere, I hope, because it's not supposed to do that. But this is the things that I got when I went to Lowe's a couple of days ago. And since I got several clearance plants, I thought that I would show y'all. And I guess the next time you see these plants, they will be going in the ground somewhere in my yard. So until next time, bye.